Okay, good morning everybody. So in the last class, we talked about JDBC and how do we use Java to connect to databases. So that was all JDBC about. We just started it. And then we looked at ways to insert data into database from Java. We looked at ways to update the data into database, delete the data from database, and then also read the data from database. So we looked at it. Now, let's look at it more. Let's look at it more constructively. Where is this one? Core Java. So I'm just closing all the projects. So going forward, you will have a lot of Java projects, a lot of various projects here. So except the one that you're working on, everything you close it because you can open it anytime. Just say right click open project. Anyways, so we started on this. Here we have seen various examples: JDBC demo, JDBC delete demo, insert demo, update demo. Maybe this one, it makes sense to call this JDBC select demo. We'll do that. Now, let's look at insert or update or delete, right? Let's closely observe.
I have a question.
Yes, Madhavi.
Yeah, in JDBC, can I use data from two tables in database?
Oh,
Means
absolutely.
If you want.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, not 100 tables also possible, right? At the end of the day, what are your column names in the result set, right? That's all. That's all it boils down to. So what are these column names? That's all we care about it, right? How many tables we are retrieving it from? That's going to be here. But all it cares about it, what are the column names? That's all. So it doesn't matter. Any number of tables. You can write any complicated query. Make sense?
But should all the tables be in the same schema, or can it be in different schemas to access here? If it is a different, then we have to change the get connection. Something.
That's a good point.
How does it work?
That's a good point. That's a little complicated question. We'll talk about. Maybe we don't talk about it. For your once you join the companies, right? Based on your environment, 90% of the times you will play with 90 to 95% of the times you will play with tables that are in one schema. Okay. But it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. In some cases, what you'll have to do is you may have to connect to the tables that are in different schemas. Yes, your JDBC URL could be different, or in the same SID. See this one here, right? This one is same SID, but sometimes within the same database, not sometimes, every time, you can definitely do this one. With the same SID, once you start working with the enterprise level databases, not this XC thingy, but you can create one database. Under one database, you can definitely have more than one schema, and you can definitely specify, you can log into one user, okay? And then here, you look at the table name, right? Insert into customer, right? What is schema? Uma, tell me. Schema is nothing but your package for your Java class.
Package, yeah.
Right? It is exactly, that's what it is. Yeah. Schema gives namespace to your tables. You say that, hey, oh customer, you're talking about OMS. Same customer can exist in security domain. Same customer can exist in finance domain. Same customer can exist in other domains. Agree? So rather than saying insert into customer at that time, what you do is insert into, can anyone tell me? Experienced people? Oh, Jyoti already answered it. So insert into schema name dot table name. You will say insert into, at that point if you need to interact with more than one schema or more than one table in multiple schemas, then you will give the fully qualified name of the table. That's all. So if I say, hey, JDBC demo, how do you say that? I say that com.javavenkat.jdbc.jdbc demo. That is my fully qualified class name, right? This is not my class name. My fully qualified class name is my package name dot this one. Then if there is a confusion there, okay, if you are interacting with more than one schema, then you will always provide this one. In fact, you will see that it is very common to provide the schema names. It is very common, either in queries or XML configurations, which let's not worry about it right now. Later on, when we look at various topics like a Spring JDBC template and Hibernate, I will show you how do we qualify the schema name to the actual tables. Make sense? But that is not a restriction at all.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Okay, let's look at this code closely. Insert into customer values, or maybe let me run this guy, or maybe I can. Okay, let's observe this query here very carefully. Insert into customer values for shown SL 321 blah, right? What happens when your Java application or any client for that matter what happens when your client application talks to database and then send a query? When you send a query like this, insert into customer values for show one SL, what it does is, before database is also a piece of software, right? Before database tries to insert into the appropriate database table, what it does is, like how JVM before executes, JVM it's a two different steps, right? First you will compile it, you will get the bytecodes, then JVM comes in the picture, then the runtime environment comes in the picture, right? So here, similarly, before it runs, it actually compiles. It actually compiles your SQL query. What does it mean by, what do you mean by compile? Well, it exact has same meaning as ours. So, like how our Java compiler works, your database compiler will check for any syntactical errors. Okay, it will look at it and see, hey, does it have any syntactical errors? Anybody is missing single quote somewhere, or anybody is missing comma there, or anybody is missing parenthesis there, you know? It will do all the compiler stuff. It's routine stuff. The first step of validation of your query. Okay, and then once it compiles, maybe you can send the same query one more time, right? So to an extent, certain number of queries, it will put in the database cache here. It will cache them, C-A-C-H-E. What exactly do you mean by cache? It will hold them in memory. let's say 100. Okay, don't quote me on this one, but I'm just telling you as an example. Let's say this particular database is caching 100 queries. What it means is, when you send a query, it will do the compile check. It will do the compile check. And then once it understands that, hey, there are no compilation issues, the syntax is really good, I can go ahead and execute, I will execute it, but I'll also put it in my memory so that if somebody sends me the same query, if somebody happens to send me the same query, then I don't have to recheck, right? Now I don't have to compile it. I will check, hey, do I have the same query in my memory that I have previously done? Oh yes, it exists. Then I don't have to compile it. I don't have to waste my time compiling that again, because I compiled this before and it had no issues and it matches with one of the safe sequels that I have in my memory. That is called caching. Caching is nothing but storing in memory so that I can retrieve them faster. So it will put it in the cache so that it will retrieve faster. That's what database does. So first it will compile, okay, and then once it finds no compilation issues, then actually executes it. Executes your query. But before compiles, it will check to see, do I have in cache? Do I have in cache? Meaning, did I already check before by someone else? If it's the same query, there's no point in recompiling again and wasting my time. So my performance will be improved. That is the idea behind why I'm checking if I have this exact same query that I just pre-compile and put it in my memory. Okay? Now, keep that concept in your head. Now let's come back. So insert into customer values, or let's put it this way so that it's all the red marks will be gone. Okay. So insert into customer values for shown. Just ignoring this guy so that no red marks. Okay. Okay. So when I send this query to database, obviously it will compile it. Okay. Obviously it will first it will check in the cache. First time there's nothing. Okay, database has just started and nobody has sent this query. So it will go ahead and compile it. It will send few microseconds. Okay, or whatever that time is, and then executes it. Everything is good. Now I want to now insert another row into customer table. Okay, now I want to insert Lena. Okay, I want to insert Lena. Okay, let's say for the simplicity's sake, I left everything else same. Now I want to insert Lena. Now look at it. Now what does it do? Now you sent this query to database, and database will check, hey, do I have the exact same query in my cache, in my memory? No, it doesn't match with this one. Previously I did this one, but it doesn't match with this one. So I'll have to recompile again. Let's say I send one more guy. Okay. I sent Shaker. Okay. So again, it doesn't match with either of these two. Then I have to recompile it. So with recompile, I'm wasting few database cycles, right? I mean, few milliseconds or microseconds, but it's definitely, it adds to your performance. Okay, 2 milliseconds. couple of milliseconds. I don't know what. Depends on your database and a lot of other things, but whatever. So you're wasting time on this one. To improve the performance for this one, for this kind of scenarios, so what Java has introduced are, it's actually not only database Java concept, it's actually generic database concept also. You can use something called prepared statement. You can use something called prepared statement to improve the performance. So you have your connection.create statement, right? There is a sub-interface of a statement called prepared statement. What prepared statement does is, I'll show you with an example, but what you will do is, this is exactly how you send it. Insert into customer values, question mark, for shaker, question mark, all of this I send question mark. So I send like this. So what I'm doing is, in the first step, I'm preparing a query with all the question marks. Okay? And then I will tell database later, hey, my first question mark means, who is the next guy? Deshikan. Okay. I'll say that my first question mark is Deshikan. Next question mark is, first question mark is 7. Next question mark is Deshikan. Third question mark is 123 Colombo Street. Our fifth question mark is Toronto or Windsor, Canada. Okay? I do something like that. So what is the advantage here? The advantage is that in every single time, no matter how many records you are inserting, you are using the exact same SQL query. So first time you send this one to database will not have any query of this sort in cache. So it will compile it and executes it with all the question marks that you eventually passed. And then when you call the second time, see, I'm not putting anything. I'm not dynamically populating the data. I'm only putting this question mark, question mark, question mark. So database does not have to compile it again because it's there in cache. It's just compiled it and everything was successful. Database knows it. You just tell me, now you tell me which question mark should I swap with what data. And you just tell me that particular question mark, can you insert Madhavi in this particular question mark? Like that. Make sense? So you're improving the performance, and this is called a prepared statement, and database supports it, and Java has provision to take advantage of that situation. Make sense? And I'll show you how to, let's improve these all of these queries here. Okay, let's improve all of these queries with prepared statement. So let's create a new package. Com Java Venkat, JDBC, prepared statement. Okay. JDBC or prepared statement, insert demo. I'll take the same code as is code, and then I'll improve it with the prepared statement. Okay. Connection create statement. Look at it. Look at it. Now, do we need string builder now? We don't need it. We don't need this guy. We don't need any of this. All we need is actually, instead of connection dot create statement, what we will do is we'll call different method called connection dot prepared statement, and that prepared statement takes your SQL query, string SQL query as your input. Okay, so you just say string SQL equal to okay, string SQL equal to insert into customer values question mark blah. Now you pass your SQL to your prepare statement. Okay, now you look at the let's look at the dedic API. So there is a method called prepare statement. So prepare statement with SQL as a string. Okay, we are calling this method, and then what do we get? Prepared statement. And prepared statement is also an interface. JDBC has a bunch of interfaces, as we know. Okay, prepared statement is also an interface, but this extends statement. Okay, so this extends statement. That is why you don't have to change this one to prepared statement. You can also, this also works, but you don't have to do that. Why? Why? You can always assign to the super type, right? This is like animal A equal to new dog. Exact same example. Remember in the initial days, animal A equal to new dog. You can assign dog to animal because dog extends animal. Here, connection.prepared statement is giving you a prepared statement, but you can say statement equal to connection.prepared statement, because what you are returning here is a prepared statement, which is a subtype of the statement. I'm hoping there is no confusion there. So now, you can definitely do that, right? But now we need a specific methods. See here. Now this is a perfect example of the object-oriented, the whole concepts that we learned, the object-oriented programming concepts. We did this. Animal A equal to new dog, right? If you want polymorphic behavior, something like a dot eat. If I want eat, then this is the perfect way of doing it. Because animal has methods like eat, walk, etc. But dog has a special method called fetch. I want to use fetch method. Is fetch method available in animal? Can I do something like this? Animal A equal to new dog and then a dot fetch. Can I do that? One of you or all of you, can you answer this question? Does this work?
No, we can't do that.
So does JVM throw an error, or your compiler itself will throw an error? Do you get a compile time error or runtime error when I do a dot fetch? Come on, speak up. Let's make it conversational. Is it compile time error or runtime error?
Compile time error?
It is a compile time error. Uma, it's not runtime error. The reason is,
Yeah, sorry.
the reason is there is no method. There is no method called fetch in animal. Your compiler cares about your type, your left-hand type. But your JVM cares about, I don't care about on what reference you call the method, what is the actual type. The actual type is on the right-hand side. Your JVM cares about it. But first of all, compiler, you have to satisfy the compiler, otherwise you don't go to runtime, right? So there is no method called fetch. Compiler says that, what are you talking? There is no method called fetch, you can't do it. Okay, so similarly, in prepared statement, you have these methods. You have a lot of methods like set int. So here what you'll do is, this is my question mark index. Hey, for first question mark, can you give this value? For the second question mark, can you give this value? For this, can you please give this like there is a set string, right? For a third question mark, can you give a value of Uma? Exactly like that, okay? So anyways, all of these methods are not there in statement. All of these methods are not there in statements because statement is a generic way of getting it. But now we're talking about a specific prepared statement. So if I need to use these methods, now I said, hey, values 1 question mark, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm saying 7 question marks. Now I need to be able to say, hey, first question mark means this one. Can you substitute second question mark with this value? Can you substitute third question mark with this value? We have to say that, right? At some point you have to say that, right? Those methods are there in the prepared statement. And you can't access them unless you change your type to the specific prepared statement. So in your animal, A equal to new dog. And when you say a.fetch, your compiler will slap you and say that there is no method called fetch. But you're talking about polymorphism, I want to use super type. Well, yes, you're right. If you want to get the polymorphism, all the little concepts that you learned are absolutely right. But if you absolutely want to use a specific method that does not exist in your superclass, then you have no option but to go for the code to implementation, the actual implementation. So you have to do it, dog, D equal to new dog, and then you say fetch. Okay, that is what we're doing here. You got it. You got it, Oma. So now prepared statement. Now, since we have the type of prepared statement, now we can say that, we can say set int. Okay, so now we are saying that the first question mark, here when you say 1, I'm saying first question mark and now give the real value. What's the value? So far we inserted until 5, I believe, or only 4? Maybe 4. So I'm saying for the first question mark value is 5. It's as good as inserting 5 there. But we don't want to do that, right? Rather than hard coding here, because we want to take advantage of the performance, right? So the first question mark and then second question mark. Now we'll just say second question mark, what are the values? Second question mark is what? First name, right? We'll say, okay, and this is the second question mark. Oh, single quotes, no, it's like a regular Java, right? Java string, you have to pass it, and it's not int, by the way, it's a string, because second one is a string. And now you don't have to put these single quotes, all of that. You don't have to worry about the database stuff. Your JDBC will take care. Okay, your database, you're actually passing this as is to the database, and then you will pass these values. That's all. Now your code looks much better too. It's like a regular Java string. Now, next one is the third question mark means Now the third question mark is,
Last name.
last name, right? Okay. I do blank for a second. Leena Anand, and then what is the next one? Street, right? 1, 2, 3, Leena Street. And then fifth question mark means city?
City.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. Just let's say New York. New York City maybe. NYC, I don't know. And then New York. I know, sixth question mark. This is sixth question mark and this is seventh question mark value. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. This is good. That's it.
I have a question here.
Absolutely.
So are we are adding to the previous table that we have, or
Yeah,
the
it's
customer's
the table I'm not touching, Uma. Whatever we had before.
okay, so if you say set int 1, will it sorry, I didn't get it here. When you say statement set int 1, and which row will it
It's
or
actually
it refers to the question
inserting.
mark?
It's actually inserting a. It is executing this this query, Uma, right? It sent
Yeah.
this query to database. Okay.
Okay.
It sent this query to database. Now it's sent with all the question marks, right? Now it needs to send the real values to that, right? It is saying, hey,
Yeah.
first question mark, can you please substitute the first question mark with 5? Second question mark, Leena. Third question mark, Anand. Fourth question mark, 1, 2, 3, Leena State. Fifth question mark, NYC. Does it make sense?
Yeah, so it's the fifth row, right? The fifth,
Just what?
when you say the fifth row.
No, it is the column, Uma. See, when you say SQL insert into customer values, so there we are inserting a row, and whatever that we are doing below, if we say 1, 5, it is saying for customer ID, give the value of 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
For the
Customer ID
second
5
column,
means,
which is first name, it is adding Leena.
yeah, I got that part from 2, 3, 4 now. But my question is, already I think we have
Customer
3
ID.
customers, and the fourth one, yeah, the customer ID we have 3 customers, and the fourth one we created and deleted. So I was wondering whether that was my doubt. Okay, I got it.
Maybe you're right. You know, you could be right. Okay, but that's okay. Let's look at it. Oh, did I forget my password? Oh, okay, my caps lock on. Okay, so we have 4, Uma. So I'm inserting the fifth one. That's all, in a different way. Did you get that?
Okay.
Instead of saying 5, because you know.
Yeah, got it.
Let me compare it with to your point, right? Let me compare it exactly how we were writing earlier. So instead of this approach, we are doing does it make sense, Sumana? Instead of sending this query, we are sending this query and we are sending all the question mark values here. First question mark 5, second question mark Leena, third question mark Anand, like that. Make sense?
Yeah.
Because if we send like this, okay, we can't take advantage of that prepared statement advantage, right? So database is thinking that it's a brand new insert, even though there are a lot of them there. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, but it's looking as is, right? It's a different query, right? So it is thinking that oh, I need to compile it first. We're adding extra cycle of compilation, right? We are removing that. Does it make sense?
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Thanks.
No problem. And then it's the same thing. Statement.execute update. You will use the same thing. And now actually in execute update, probably you can actually, you don't need it because you already, you don't need to send query again because you already started here, right? Connection.prepare statement itself will take the query and then you just do a statement.execute update. and you'll get it. Let's look at it if it works. Rows inserted 1. Very good. Let's look at it. See, if the query is now like this. So when you send one more, then database will understand that, oh, this guy, this same query, I just got it before. Then I don't have to recompile it. I know what you're talking about. You just send me the values dynamically. Tell me which question mark should be substituted by what value, and I'll take care of it without having to recompile it. I want you to underline that. This is one of the most important interview questions. What is the difference between statement and prepared statement? Okay? And now if you need to send one more, right? If you want to do 6th. Okay? Now 6th. Shaker. Okay? Let's say he's in Plano, Texas, right? So now, again, you are not changing the query now, right? So when this kind of query went to database, again, it's the same query. Look at it. Oh, now I don't have to recompile it because you just send it to me one and it's there in my memory, so I don't have to recompile it. Okay. 6th guy. See here? Shaker last name 999, Shaker Drive, Plano, Texas 54321. We just inserted this one. Yes. Jyoti put it. You are just avoiding compilation step by using prepared statements since it's already in the cache. Yes. Make sense? Everything else is same. Do you know what this one is? Just for the kicks. These are called Eclipse warnings. You know what is this warning? The import java.sql.statement is never used because we changed from statement to prepared statement and we did not remove the import. You can go and delete the import, Control D, but what if you have 10 imports that are not used? These are not errors. These are just warnings that, hey, unnecessary code. If you have an extra line of code, then that's called code smell. Okay. So Eclipse has a nice shortcut. Right click, source, organize imports. There's something called organize imports. When you say that, it automatically does that. And there is a shortcut also, Control Shift O, organize imports, and it takes care of all the imports. Okay. Make sense, everybody? That is prepared statement.
I have a question.
Fantastic. Yes, ask.
Yeah, if there is a statement dot set string 3 and if we are not given double quotes, then it's taking exception. That exception is the Java's exception or the database exception?
You're saying like this?
Yes.
You're saying like that?
Yes.
Oh, so we're going back to, now you tell me, what exception is this? Is this an exception first of all? What is this one? Huh? It is saying Shaker last name cannot be resolved to a variable.
Yeah, because it's a string, so we are not given double quotes, so that's a problem.
First of all, before this, is this a database error or a Java error?
Yeah.
Huh?
It is Java error.
Why did database come into picture actually at the compile time? I didn't understand the question. This is a compilation error. This is a compile time error. Right, Madhavi?
Yeah.
You will not talk to database without having, first you fix the compilation issues and then run it, then it actually executes all of this, then your Java code tries to talk to database. Right?
Yeah.
Agree? That is a perfect compile time error. Your compiler is telling you that, look at it, your set string is taking int as an argument and string as an argument. Can you write a Java string without double quotes? If you don't put a double quotes, then it is treating this as a variable that you have not declared in your class, right?
Yeah.
So database, no, I'm saying that question itself is not correct is what I'm saying. So this is, forget about database, this is compile time error. This is our Java compile time error. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And this one has got nothing to do with the database. This is a set string is a Java JDBC's method which is taking string as an argument. And all the strings in Java should have these double quotes. Agree? Madhavi, on the same page? Okay.
Venkat, I have a question.
I'm getting background noise. Please put yourself on mute.
Venkat, I have a question.
Before that, I'm sorry. Whoever is getting the background noise, so can you please put yourself on mute?
Hi Venkat, I have a question.
Who is this? Lena?
Yes.
Yeah, Lena. Go ahead.
If we have to insert like two rows, maybe multiple rows at the same time, in the same, how do we give?
Yeah, that's also my question.
So, if you need to do multiple, how do you do it? Right?
Yes.
You tell
yes,
me.
Venkat.
What is one of the approaches?
So the query will be the same, like give
Okay.
prepare this one. I'm not sure. So
Go
the
ahead.
values beneath the.
Tell me.
Do we have to just give the values alone below, like
What do you
in
think?
the position?
Do you think it works at that time?
I'm not
So,
sure.
let's look at it. But it's a great question though. Let's look at it, right? So are you saying again this 8 is 7, then, okay? 9th question mark is like that. So what does it think? It doesn't know that you want to insert 2 rows here. It doesn't know that. And look at it. You're talking about 8th question mark. There is no 8th question mark, right? It throws you error. I mean, of course, it here int. It throws you an error saying that, hey, sorry, boss, you only have 7 question marks and you're trying to insert value for 8th question mark. I don't take it. It's an error. Database will throw an error, right? Agree?
Yes.
So what is
Yes.
the solution that you know? So this one has to be there. This one has to be same for another row. This one, all of this has to be same for one more row. What is the solution? You didn't get it? Anyone? I think someone said it here. Sailaja.
Do it one more time.
Exactly. Do it one more time. Loop. Did you get that? Do the whole thing one more time, Lena. And it's not only for Lena, for everybody, right? You do all of this one
Okay.
more time. So this query, this whole query, you are reusing it. Okay? You're getting a statement. And all of this, you are doing it one more time. You insert it. and go all over again. So if I ask you to insert 100 rows, do this 100 times, put it in loop, right? But there is a small point to that. It's a slightly bigger question than that. That's why I said it's a great question. That actually leads to one fundamental question here. Remember, I told you on day one that all these connections are resource intensive. When you make a connection, a lot of things happen under the hood. So that is why once you make the connection, and database always maintain only a finite number of connections. So once you are done using it, you have to close it, is what I was saying, right? So if I ask you to insert 100 rows, so you'll have to do it 100 times, and you're opening the connection and closing the connection 100 times. You're opening the connection and closing the connection 100 times, which is a very, 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 very bad idea. Would you do that? If I ask you to insert like this, so every single time what you are essentially doing is, understand here, opening the connection, closing the connection is nothing but going here and go here. Okay, go. So connect to the database. Connect to the database and then execute a query and again open it one more time. Open second window and execute one more time. Would you do that? No, you don't want to do that. There is something called, all these connections can be pooled. There is a concept called connection pooling. Okay, that is why rather than closing the connections, they actually go back to pool so that they can be reused. So we all use, this is non-production code. You never get the connection from driver manager. This is actually non-poolable connection. You're always getting a brand new connection. You're always getting a brand new connection. You don't want to get it. It actually maintains it in pool of connections, in a connection pool, and you'll always get connection from connection pool. Okay? And then you iterate through it 100 times, then no problem. But still that's not so efficient solution. JDBC solves this one using something called JDBC batch update. Okay? So JDBC has provided a way of inserting all of this in a batch mode. When you do it in batch mode, it doesn't actually interact with the database those many number of times. It actually improves performance much faster. Okay, so you'll use JDBC batch mode. Actually, there is a slightly higher layer on top of JDBC batch mode. When we talk about Spring Batch, I'll talk not Spring Batch. Spring Batch will not talk about it. Spring JDBC has a nice wrapper to JDBC batch. Okay, where you will get you'll do the batch things. Okay, and you'll use the batch mode. We all use it. We all use it in our production codes. And okay, so you have two solutions there. I mean, three solutions actually, but the first solution was horrible, trying to get the connection every single time. That's an extremely bad idea. Number two is pool the connection so that you will improve the performance. Let's see if we can talk about the connection pooling today or some other time. That's connection pooling and loop through all of this. And the third one is JDBC batch, which is the most efficient way. Under the hood, it doesn't go to database lot of times, but actually it sends it actually opens a transaction and then opens a pipe, send it, and then finally commits and close the pipe. It's an efficient way of doing it. Okay, but for our discussion, assume that you are just looping through it. since we are still in the beginning, first, second days of it. Okay. This is about insert. And then let's look at update and delete also. It's very, very similar. Let's improve them and then get back. Prepared statement update demo. Let's get this guy. Okay. So how do we change this guy? So instead of create statement, we will say prepare statement. And then we'll provide the query here. And that query, let's write this guy. Update customer, set first name equal to question mark, where customer ID equal to question mark. Right. And then do an execute update. Statement at execute update. Sorry. Oh. Okay. Prepared statement has a method execute update that does not take SQL because we already gave the SQL. But before we do that, we have to provide our question marks. Set string. First question mark is, so we are changing who? Who did we just create? Who is the sixth guy here? Shaker. I'll update his last name maybe with his real last name. First question mark is, come on. First question mark is real last name. That is his real last name also in real life. I'm just kidding. And then second question mark is 6. And of course, this is not a string. This is int. And then we updated everything. Fantastic. Let's get the customer. Oh boy. So we changed his last name to real last name. Okay? Using prepared statement. And if you want to update more than one at a time, we know it's simple. Update customer. Actually, we can write a separate SQL here. I mean string. String SQL equal to, you can do like this. Update customer. Okay? You can do something like this or in a single query. But what I'm doing is actually by doing a plus here, I'm concatenating a bunch of strings for readability purposes. That's all. I'm doing a big readable fan. Update customer. Set first name equal to question mark. Okay? Comma. We'll put the question mark here itself to make it more readable. And we'll say I'll use tabs. Okay. Last name equal question mark. If you're doing more, okay. Where? Are you guys getting what I'm trying to do here? All I'm doing is, rather than one straight string, I'm just concatenating a bunch of strings. That's all I'm doing here. Okay. Where customer. To make it more readable, that's all I'm doing here. See here. Now this code is more readable, right? Update customer set first name equal to question mark, comma. So this is how you can update more than one comma in your set. Set first name equal to question mark, comma, last name equal to question mark, comma, zip code zip equal to question mark, comma, blah, blah, blah. And then where customer ID equal to. And then you just say, so we'll change his first name to something. And now you just say that, okay, first, second, and third. We'll say real first name with Shaker last name. Okay. Oh, we have not used this guy, SQL. See how Eclipse helps us here. The value of the local variable SQL is not used. Then where is it? We have not used it, it seems. So connection dot prepare statement is what I'm using. Okay? Makes sense. All done. Now go and check his real first name and second last name. Make sense? This is how we do it. And this one, I carried this kind of readable code from, this is not only my style, I think a lot of people do it this way. If I need to update here, right? If I am writing a big query, see, I think I showed you the other day. If I'm writing a big query, we do it like this, right? So I think we all know that. Select star from customer where. So this is anybody's style. It's not really my style. Where ID equal to blah, and so we write. You can write in a single line, but we don't write so that we can understand this properly. Okay? A lot of people, including myself, when you bring a big query, before I try to look at what's going on there, I'll first format it and then look at it. That's my style. And I've seen a lot of people doing it. Anyways, that's all not required stuff. That's a prepared statement update. We can improve our prepared statement.
Can I see the previous one once more?
Go ahead.
Can I see the previous one once more? In the previous program, the prepared statement. Just one.
Absolutely, no problem, no problem.
So here you're doing the prepared statement SQL, and then you are developing it and then executing. Okay. As opposed to that, oh, the SQL is insert statement.
Exactly.
Okay.
There is
All
no difference shown. There is no difference, zero difference. Other than insert here, this is same, this is same, this is same. Everything is same, sir.
So this prepared statement SQL is just giving you a pointer to that, and then
Exactly.
Okay, that's
Exactly. You're preparing a SQL and giving that, you're preparing a string SQL and giving it to prepare statement as an argument, and that's it. It gives you handle to prepare statement, hold on to it and say which question mark is what. Piece of cake, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Or you want me to go one more time? Or do you want me to compare side by side? Is that what you're kind of looking at? Or take your time.
No, it's okay.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Okay,
I
good.
just wanted to just see that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Now, I'll do it delete also. Prepared statement, delete demo. I think you guys got the concept by now. I'm just doing just for this, I'm intentionally doing it, even though you got the concept, because we are going to combine all of this in the next topic, and I need good code for the next topic. That is why statement dot, okay, here it's a prepared statement. Oh boy. So if it's not a big SQL, you don't need to assign it in a string and do it. You can do it here itself. Delete from customer where customer ID equal to simple question mark. Prepare call. They're all for stored procedures. If you want to call callable statement, they're used in stored procedures. We didn't talk about stored procedures this time, right? Because I asked you to watch the videos from my last batch, in-depth complete database objects. So, oh, I'm sorry. This is what you're talking about. I'm sorry. So you're paying attention, huh? Hey, I did it intentionally to see if you guys are paying attention. No, I'm just joking. Okay. Prepared statement, delete from customer where customer ID equal to, and then finally statement dot execute update. So we'll delete, obviously before this we need to tell, hey, what question mark are you talking about? Statement dot set int first question mark, who shall we delete? Since Uma found my problem in the code, we'll delete her. Number 3. So as a punishment. Oh, something happened. Yeah. Oh, unfortunately, we can't delete Uma.
Yeah.
She's rooted too much into the system now. Look at it. Oracle error, integrity constraint violated, child record found. I know a lot of experienced people here, but I'm not asking them. Any new people, can you give it a try? It's pretty. Give it a try. What is this error?
It's probably referential integrity.
Excellent point. To start with, first of all, do you have experience before? Did you play in your previous life? Did you play with Oracle? Okay, little bit. Okay, okay. So, okay, then I'll take your answer. Referential integrity issue, yes, but you stop there. And now let me ask more people. I don't want answer from Shovan, Jyoti, all of these like people who have played with Oracle extensively. Can you point to this one precisely? You know what we have been playing with in the database world? It is, yes, it is related to parent-child record, but I want you to say precisely, oh, this is why you can't delete it, because, and Antenna already gave clue that it's a referential integrity, meaning it's a parent-child relationship. We are talking about foreign key, primary key thingy. We have to delete child record first, or use cascade option. Don't worry about cascading thing. Okay, I'll take Yuri's point. We have to delete child record first. But before we talk about the solution, not the generic statement, in my scenario here, you know here, all the database structure here. So what is the problem here? Do you see something like this here? Am I pointing to the right direction now? We have two tables here. So tell me precisely, you're all right. Antenna is right, UD is right. And anyone else?
Customer ID is a foreign key.
Excellent. Excellent. In what table?
For the orders.
Excellent. Okay. Okay. Connect the dots. You are on very right track. So connect the dots now. You want me to open up the data? Customer. So we are trying to delete Uma here. Uma has customer ID 3. We couldn't delete because
she has already an order.
Excellent. Excellent. So customer is the parent table, orders is a child table, customer ID is the primary key in customer table. The same customer ID is foreign key in orders table. She already placed an order in orders table. If I delete Uma here, here. If I delete, Uma has customer ID of 3, right? If I delete Uma here, okay, what will happen to these orders? This effective Java book and pragmatic programmer, what will happen to these guys? They'll be linked with customer ID with 3 who doesn't exist anymore. So they became orphaned, right? So you cannot link the orders to the customers, right? That is why we use referential integrity. So it doesn't let you delete randomly like that just because she pointed out something, right? Agree? So that is what it's saying. You violated integrity constraints, child record found. So first delete all the orders for her and then delete her. That is fine. But you cannot delete her when her orders are still lying out there. Make sense? So she's powerful. Can delete her. I can delete this guy also. Yuri. So let's look at other people who just created. Let's delete 6, the most recent one, whoever that one is. I think Shaker. So let's go ahead and delete. He doesn't have any orders. So you may ask, so how do we do it in the real world? If I try to delete Uma, well, simple. You somehow delete Uma's orders first and then delete her. Simple. Or anybody. Same case with Yuri also, right? So that guy also has some orders here. See, he made 3 orders. So if you want to delete this guy, first delete. If you want to delete this guy, delete his orders first and then go and delete him. And in fact, in database world, there is an option called cascade delete. Okay? Meaning, if you delete with that option, then, hey, can you take care of, can you delete Yuri along with all of his child tables? So then, recursively, it will take care of all the child records also. So that's an option too. So you got it. What I'm saying there. So that's it. So that's about prepared statement and some fun there.
Venkat, I have a question here.
Absolutely.
In the database connection for JDBC,
Yes.
do we always need to hard code the connection? What if you connect to other database vendors as well?
You are at least 3 steps before me, not 1. Okay? So don't worry about it. At this point, yes, we do it that way. I will show you throughout this class various solutions where we get it from and how we get it from. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So at minimum, we will change it probably in another 1 hour. At minimum, we will take them as constructor or we'll put them as, we'll create base DAO, etc. We'll look at it. In probably 30 minutes from now, it will slightly change, or 1 hour from now, it will slightly change, and then we will. I'll show you various options to read them properly. Okay, don't worry about it.
All right.
But that's a great observation, great point. So his point is, see, you are hard coding here, you are hard coding here, you are hard coding here. So when you change certain properties, when you change your database IP address, then you are changing in every single class. Come on, that's ridiculous. Yes, it is ridiculous. We'll handle it later. That's a great point, great observation. That will be one of my points today too, to an extent, and later we'll talk, XMLs, a lot of options. Okay. Hello? Yeah.
Yeah. That is, are we meeting at 9 or 10? Actually, today I heard that we started at 9. Actually, I did not know that, so I was curious.
Oh, Sundays are at 9 only, right?
Oh,
Okay,
10
but
I know.
10 was something that you decided once. That's why I thought it would be 10.
Oh, sorry for the confusion. We started at.
So it should be 9, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I tell you guys before class itself, right? It's at 10 o'clock, etc. So, but it's typically 9, right?
Typically 9. Okay,
Yeah,
that's fine.
typically 9.
And another thing
Unless
is, the stuff that you taught in the last class, did you put that in 2015?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You did, but I updated that in this thing, but I didn't get it actually.
No, it's a different project, buddy. See here,
Yeah,
JDBC Feb
different
20.
project. JDBC Feb. Oh, okay, different project over there.
Yeah,
In your okay. hang on a
repository. JDBC Feb 2015.
second. Okay, that one after. Okay,
Yep.
that's fine. Thank you. Got it.
So I put it in JDBC Feb 2015. This is a different project I created. So
Correct.
please fetch it from there. And then I created, this is for a simple JDBC, this package, and this is for prepared statement. And now let's talk about a different topic.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. So we talked about databases and how to interact with the databases using Java. Talked about JDBC, simple ways, prepared statement, etc. Now, since we're talking about customer table, I'll take, please mute yourself. So, talking about customer table, especially for customer table, in your application, so there may be a lot of modules, right? There may be finance module. So for each project, bigger project or bigger companies, right? That's a huge project. Involves multiple domains or multiple divisions of the company. So you have a finance division or finance module. Right? You have security. You have etc. Let's say. Okay. So everybody needs customer data. Customer data is here. And then your customer is here. And now, let's say these are all different modules of it. And now, this guy also knows JDBC. He can go and go to this table and get the customer information, everything, right? And security also, this guy also knows the JDBC. I mean, this particular module also knows JDBC and gets it. Particular module also knows JDBC and then use the prepared statement or regular statement or okay, insert the data or get the data, update the data, delete the data, etc. Let's say something has been changed here at the database level. Let's say zip code, we accidentally, when we initially designed the database table, we designed it as an int with the assumption that every zip code will have, will start with, every zip code is a reasonable number. So 54631, it's a number, right? But what happens if it is a 04617? Int does not take left side 0, but zip code is a 5-digit. So we realized, oh, ouch. So we need to change the zip code from number to string. Okay? And then obviously everywhere it has to be changed. It has to be changed here, here, here. Also, for inserting the data, we initially did not know about prepared statement. We are using the regular statement. Okay? We are using the regular statement. Everybody is using regular statement, regular statement, regular statement. And then we came to know that, hey, prepared statement is the right way to insert or update or delete the data. Never use statement. Oh, just learned from somewhere. Okay, let's update all of our code. Sure. So, updating here, here, here. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare to update in all of this, right? So, why can't we go through a single channel? And then, to extend that point, why don't we, all the data access logic, all the database access, why don't we put it in a single location or a single class here so that only this particular class for customer will go to database, will interact with any data access logic, whether we are using JDBC or some other implementation. Later on, we'll talk about something called Spring JDBC. And then later on, we'll talk about something called Hibernate. Later on, we'll talk about something called JPA. So there are a lot of options. JDBC is only one of a lot of options, right? So I want to change from JDBC to Hibernate. Okay, it's a better option, so we want to change it. At that time, nobody should be worried about how we are getting the data, whether we are using JDBC, whether we are using Hibernate, or when we change the database from, if at all, we change from Oracle to some other database, or if we change from relational database to non-relational database, which is very popular now, NoSQL databases like MongoDB and Cassandra and other databases. So when we change any of this, we don't want any of these modules to get affected, because we don't want any of them to actually interact with the database directly. We want only one guy to interact with the database. If we do it that way, all the data access code is localized or isolated to one particular class. And when changes happen, only this guy will change it and everybody else will only know about this guy. So this class will provide a public interface This will provide a nice public interface that has no details about the database at all. So these guys do not know that he's using relational database. These guys have no clue that he switched from relational database to a non-relational database. He has no clue about. This guy has no clue that we switched from JDBC to Hibernate. It's all magic happens here. So only one piece of code or one class will access. We will bring all the data access logic and put it, isolate it, or localize it to one particular class. And that one, we call it data access object, DAO, data access object. That particular class is called DAO. Everybody has to go through the DAO, and only DAO will have the data access logic. So all the JDBC that you learned will not be bleeding into any other classes, any other modules except DAOs. Only DAOs will have JDBC code. Only DAOs will have Hibernate code if you change from JDBC to Hibernate tomorrow. Only DAO worries about how do I connect to this database. There may be a lot of layers on top of it. Nobody worries about it. Everybody in the company or in a project. Let's put it. A company is a bad thing. That's a bigger architecture. It's a bigger design. I'm not getting into those details. I'm imagining all of this are in a single project, various modules. Every module must go through this DAO to get the database information, or they don't even talk about the database. They get the customer information, and to insert the customer information, to update the customer information, to delete the customer information. This guy knows this guy holds all of that intelligence here. Called DAO, data access object. So in fact, this data access object is something called a pattern, P-A-T-T-R-N. This is a DAO is a pattern. Okay, what is a pattern? What they say is, it is a standard solution for a recurring problem. Understand this nicely. What is a pattern? Well, we are not the first ones to experience this one, right? Initially, probably 15-20 years back, whoever has started here, this kind of project, they wrote JDBC all over here. Hey, I know JDBC, I know JDBC, I know JDBC. So everybody started writing their own JDBC, and then they got burnt. Ouch. When we change something here, then everybody is getting changed here. So everybody is changing the code. So this guy is changing, this guy is changing, and this guy is changing. And they learned a lesson. You know what? They're very smart people, and they thought about it. They looked at it. You know what? It's a bad idea to have everyone change it. You know what? How about putting all of the data access logic into one single class, and then have everyone go through it, have everyone use it. If something is changed, they will never interact with the database. They don't even know that there is a database exists. Actually, they don't even know the fact that these guys are going into database or getting it. They may get it from a file system. They may get it from memory. They may get it from anywhere. These guys don't even worry about it. How about that? And then the solution, they found that solution somewhere in the world. Okay? And then another part of the world, someone else had the same issue. Man, we have the data access logic everywhere, and when something changes, we are changing all over the places. Well, hey, somewhere other part of the world, some intelligent people, not like me, Some smart people, they apparently found out, hey, this is what they did in their company. Oh, looks like it's, we can use that pattern. Oh, let's use it. So these guys used it. And someone else ran into the same issue, same solution. Someone else ran into the same issue. It's a it's a recurring problem. It is a recurring problem. It's a very common problem. And the solution is standardized. Some smart people have come up with a solution, and they said, hey, in this particular context, for given these scenarios, this is working great for me. It might work for you too. And then go take a look at it, and it worked for thousands of people or millions of people. So it became a standard solution for a recurring problem. That is a pattern. There are a lot of patterns. In Java and other programming languages, this is one of the patterns called DAO pattern. So in DAO pattern, the main important concept is all the data access logic will be isolated into a class, and every class or every module has to go through that. Nobody will be bypassing this guy and going to database anymore. So everybody has to, this is the new architecture, right? So as part of the, after we learn DAO, this guy will go DAO, will go to DAO, this guy will go to DAO, this guy will go to DAO, and only one guy, only this guy will go to database, interact with the database, get the data, and then it will give you back. So these guys have no clue about the database. Any of these modules have no clue about the database. So it is safeguarded nicely by this guy. You have to go through this guy. When something changes, the main point is all of these patterns mainly existed because of maintainability issues. You quickly write some code and then you go out of the company. To maintain it, it takes, that is where the biggest point is, the biggest pain is. So when something changes, we should have one place to go and one place to change it. That is DAO. Make sense? And typically, it's there are some exceptions, definitely. Typically, what we do in our companies is that we'll typically start with one DAO per table. There are exceptions, as I said. Every rule has exceptions. But this is typical convention is that one DAO per table. So all the customer information will be stored in customer DAO. All the orders information directly. Okay? They are in orders DAO. Of course, there will be crisscrossing, definitely. When you need customers' orders, definitely all the orders details also have to go, but at that time they talk to each other or some other approach. But typically, that's as a standard solution, we'll do this one DAO per table. Make sense? If you're dealing with all the customer information, inserting, updating, deleting, all of that will be stored in this DAO. And by the way, when I say insert, delete, all of this, right, there is a nice shortcut for this one. If you want to create the data, if you want to read the data, if you want to update the data, and you want to delete the data. And then look at it. So this is what we typically refer to as CRUD operations, CRUD. When we say CRUD, we mean create, read, update, delete. Create, insert statements here. Read, select, update, update, and then delete. Okay, so all of this CRUD related to customer will be in customer DAO. All of the CRUD for orders will be in orders DAO. That's the principle. Well, there are Venkat Krishna is asking a question. Why do they move from relational database to non-relational database? There may be some good reasons. In fact, mainly because this is a little complicated topic actually, which I also don't know 100%, but see, when we wrote for the last 15 years, there's no concept of non-relational database, right? The only database that we know is a relational database. It's a silver bullet for every problem. There is a relational database, right? But recently, it's been identified or proven that a relational database and non-relational database can coexist, and actually, it's not replacement for one another. They actually complement nicely. Relational database is very good for transactional stuff, and non-relational database is very good for unstructured data. So, especially if it's unstructured data, a lot of people are moving towards NoSQL databases. Yeah, I'm mainly not talking about object-oriented databases here. I'm mainly talking about the MongoDB or Bigtable. I'm talking about those unstructured databases. Okay. Anyways, so that's the point. That's the off topic. Just to quickly answer his question. Make sense? Let's look at it. And actually, how do we implement it, right? Oh, we only talked about the concept. So how do we implement the DAO? Well, the way you implement is, typically, you create an interface called whatever your DAO. I'm taking this example as a customer DAO, right? So this is an interface. This is an interface. Okay, customer DAO. And now you provide implementation for that. Obviously, you will write an implementation for that, right? And then here you say customer DAO. What is the implementation logic? Well, I'm using JDBC. So we'll typically write like this. Customer DAO JDBC impl. This is your class name. Implements your customer DAO. Customer DAO is an interface. Here you will have at the high level, you will have get customers. Okay, it will give you list of customer objects, and then insert customer, update customer, delete customer, find by customer ID. I mean, I'll give you a customer ID and give me the customer object, everything, right? But one point that I need to emphasize so much, this is how we typically write it, but one point I want you to understand here is that database is talking in terms of result sets, statements, connections, all of this, right? If I want to get it, right? Where is my get? Database is talking about result set. From your customer DAO, don't give me the result set, or don't speak anything about the implementation. Don't tell me that you're using JDBC. Don't even give me a single clue that you're using JDBC. Because once you start giving those details, in fact, I use the term leaking. Once you are leaking those database details to your client, then you will not be able to change the implementation from JDBC to something else. So be careful in designing them, and your DAO has to be very, very, very high level. You get the result set, right? Somehow you get all of this data, but don't give me all of this junk. Give me a nice customer object. How you translate into customer object is your problem. You get it from result set. You get all of this one, you populate into the customer object, you do whatever you need to do it, but you give me the customer object is what this main interface responsibility is. Getting it? So design it as separate as possible from the implementation. I will show you right now how we'll do it. Okay? Who will implement DAO in real-time projects? Okay. We, Java developers, we write this one. So we write the interface, we write the implementations. Okay? We do it. Actually, we Java developers unit test also this one. Let me show you how we do that.
Is there any layer between DAO and database?
There is no layer between DAO and database. So DAO and database, no. DAO uses JDBC directly to interact with the database. There is nothing in between, and only DAO should interact with the database. Let me put it that way. Sorry. Make sense? Let me create com Java Venkat JDBC dot. Let me do DAO. Let's define interface to start with. Okay. When someone is interacting with it, they obviously want the high-level interface. So we'll say customer DAO. So tell me, customer DAO, what and all your clients want to do it. Whoever is calling, what do they want to typically do it? Maybe they ask for all the customers, right? You don't need to say public because it's already. So get all customers. Come on, help me here, please. Get all customers, right? I don't give you anything, no inputs, just give me all the customers that you have in the database. This one, we will not typically have this kind of method, right? Because you're reading the whole database, but I'm just putting just for our learning purposes, okay? Typically, we don't do this one. Nobody is ever interested in all the customers that you have in the database. So anyways, I'm doing it for our reasons. So get all customers, and then what's the return type? What is the return type? List of customer. Oh, first of all, we did not define a customer object. So let's define a customer object. Are you guys following it? I want to make it conversational, so I need help. So let's define our customer object. What do we, oh, what is that? Went to some store. Sorry, that Windows store or some, I believe. I don't know how. Some games, etc. Okay, public class customer. So customer object contains what? Customer, every customer will have a customer ID, right?
First name, last name.
Yeah, thank you for pitching in. I need help. Let's make it, tell me, private string.
First name.
Sure.
Private string, last name.
Thank you. And then
Private
what?
string,
Address.
Address.
Thank you.
City.
Right. This is the most simplistic though. You know, you'll have the dates, timestamps, all sort of things, but here you have. Okay. What do we do? Shall we create this customer as immutable? How do we create an immutable object? Quickly.
Using constructors.
Okay,
Get and
constructors and?
Getter and setter methods.
Okay. Do we give the setters also?
No.
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 Is that called immutable?
Only
if you put
getters
setters?
and constructor.
Exactly. Only getters.
No setters, only.
That's a very important question. People ask, hey, how do you create an immutable object? That's very, very, very natural, popular question. Okay. Okay, we have excellent customer object. Now, we'll say that List of customers. Okay, get all customers method will give me list of customers. Very good. I don't care how you get it. Okay, you give me the customer object. Think about it, guys. You know JDBC by now. JDBC gives result set, all of this, statement connection. No leaking, no place for any of that. It's giving you a very nice, clean interface, right? So you translate all of that into customer object. You get the result set, you loop through it, you create customer object, you populate the data, but you just give me the list of customers. I don't care how you get it. Understand? Now, next, create customer, right? If I have a customer object, see here again, if you look at the prepared statement one, we just did it. Here, all the question marks, we take it like this, like this, like this, like this. No, any of that. But I'll give you a customer object and you insert in your data store, whatever that one is. Make sense? Customer. Make sense? Create a customer and then update a customer. Right? I mean, it's kind of same. Update customer. And then delete. Yeah, sure. Delete doesn't return anything, so delete customer. And then what do we do? We'll take their ID. Yeah? We'll take the customer ID. We don't need the whole customer object to delete, right? I mean, if you have it, that's good. You can have one more method too. No problem. But you just pass me the customer ID. That's good enough, and I'll delete it for you. Okay? Fantastic. This is our interface. Now, let's talk about the implementation. As I told you, whatever we talked, and I'm saying exclusively that JDBC impl. You know why I'm saying it? Nobody asked this question. Why are we exclusively saying JDBC? Why do I need this one? Just say customer DAO impl, right? The reason I'm putting is that tomorrow I can write customer DAO hibernate impl. Okay? And then I can swap them easily, right? Polymorphism. That is where the interface is the purest form of polymorphism, right? We all know that. That's what we learned all these days, right? As I told you, we don't learn anything in vacuum. I'll make sure we connect every single thing that we learned, okay? Now, I don't want to provide the implementation for everything there. I'll start with, we have a very clean, nice interface. So what I'll do is, we'll start with one at a time. Add unimplemented methods. Okay, let's start with one. I'll start with this guy, get all customers. Okay, I'll show you how to do that. And then we'll do the rest also. Now, I'm going to copy the code as is from, with your permission, because we already did it very nicely. So I'm going to copy this guy as is. I hope you're all okay with that, right? Because we already did it. Select star from customer. All of this is required. Everything is required, but we need to return list of customers. Anybody has any idea of how we will return it? Database talks about this result set, all of this, but we need we talked about the clean interface. I don't want to talk about any result set, no statement, no connections. Can any of you give me an idea how I will go about it? I will type whatever you say. Any of you? See, I'm getting the individual details of the first name, last name, address, city, state, zip code for each customer, but I need to return list of customer. Come on, you did a lot of these things. Collections. This is why I asked you to write a lot of a lot of examples in collections, right?
Array list.
Array list probably. A list of arrays.
Sure. Yeah. Where do you want me to put it? Speak up. Tell me. Okay. To start with, I'll create an empty basket. Sure. That's a great idea. So to start with, on the top, I'll create an empty basket, right?
New array list.
New array list. Excellent. Okay, now what do you want me to do?
We add each customer to the list.
Excellent. 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 Add each customer to the list. Okay, great point. Now tell me, how do I create? Do I have a customer object, man? Tell me. I have these individual first name, last name, address, city, state, zip code from result set. How do I get the customer object? Without getting the customer object, I can't add them to the list.
You use a constructor for creating the customer. And
You are fantastic. Tell me. Tell me how. I'm putting in the while loop. Look at it. Every time I go into it, I'm creating a new customer. Because every time I go into it, every row here is a separate customer instance for me. Are you guys with me? This is one customer object. This is another customer object. This is another customer object. This is another, sorry. This is another customer object. This is another customer object. This is another customer object. Are you guys with me? Now, every time I go into the while loop, with all of this information, I'll create a customer object and I will add to the basket that is outside of the loop so that it will be added to the basket. It's a simple for loop or while loop, guys. This is why we did tens of problems in corrections. Agree? Thank you. So, excellent. Go ahead.
Customer equal to new customer.
Sure. Customer equal to new customer. Okay. Now, we'll say ID. Sure. And then first name, last name. Luckily, everything matches. And then zip. Okay. Okay. First name, last name, address, city, just. Okay, we got the customer now. Very good. So what do I do now? That's it. We're done now. Are we doing more?
we add it.
What do I have to do now? Add this customer to
We
list.
need to, no, we got the, add the customers to, yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
we have to add.
Go ahead.
Customer start.
Fantastic. Customer
Add
dot add
customer.
customer. That's it. All of you right. Aruna, thanks. That's precisely what's happening here. So we're adding to the customers, right? Very good. So as we go through into while loop, as we go into while loop, we will add to this guy, right? Once everything, all of the try catch, finally everything is done, what do I do now? I have my object that is fully populated. Now what do I do?
Done.
Finally, what do I do? This
Return
method
customer.
expects, this method get all customers, this method must return a result of list of customers. What do I do? Return.
List.
Exactly. There you go. Very, very.
Venkat,
Yeah.
the result set, can you not add the result set itself to a array list and send it back?
Excellent point. Any of you counter that? I want people to counter that discussion.
I think we don't need the database result sets. That's why we want to stick to the Java class objects. So that's why.
Because the result set, I think, is an implementation of one of the array list or something. So
Any counters?
What is the question? He is
Oh.
asking what the result set is.
Why can't we return the result set itself to the column?
Like, oh,
That defeats the very fundamental point of the DAO object, Venkakrishna, right? The reason we are going to the DAO is because I should not know. Result set is part of the JDBC API. I should not know anything about the implementation. JDBC is your implementation of going to the database and getting it and giving it to me. So you are letting me know too much about it. You're bleeding the details to the clients. I shouldn't know. In fact, I speak only in terms of my domain objects, which is my interface. Look at it. How clean this one is. Get all customers, list of customers. And customer is nothing but just a bunch of getters and constructors. This is just domain object, right? So, do I care about how you get it here? No. If you give me the result set, you change from JDBC to something else, now you are forcing me to change it, right? Because result set is part of JDBC API. Are you with me?
Okay.
That is the whole reason. That is the fundamental, the concept of DAO. You don't
we are
want
not-
to give any implementation details to client. You just say that when you call me get all customers, I'll give you the list of customer without you having to know how I get it, without you having to know how I translate it, without you having to know that where I get it from. You have no clue of it.
So we are not okay. So we are not bleeding database to the object, but we are bleeding little bit of object to the database. Okay.
No, these objects, they live everywhere.
They live
We
everywhere.
are not, these objects live everywhere, right? These are our domain objects. In Java, we have the domain objects, meaning the objects that know the domain, right? Customer, this is how we define the customer in our world, right?
Yeah, yeah.
This customer is getting translated into database calls in these ones, but here all the database information is getting translated into customer and giving you a view of the customer. That's how customer is going to live in our domain, in our bank, in our insurance company, or whatever that one is, right?
Right.
So
Okay.
when I do it, do I know any of the details about it here? Do I know that you have used JDBC? But if you give me the result set, I have to know JDBC. And not only that, when you change from JDBC to something else, you are forcing me to change it. That's a very bad idea. Agree? Rather, you get the result set, or you don't even tell me, but implementation, if you zoom in and talk about the implementation, you get the result set, you loop through it, you translate each one of them into customer object and give me a high level view of this one, list of customers. Make sense? Does it make sense? That is the power of DAO pattern. You actually touch the core of the DAO pattern. Make sense? Okay. No confusion, no questions on that, right? Any one of you? Excellent.
This public list customer, get all customers, this one, it was automatically generated, right? When you click that.
Which one? This one?
At override, no, the previous, no, the previous page, yeah.
You mean this one?
No.
Sorry, which one are you saying?
Customer DAO. Yeah, this one.
I think
At
control
override
one.
public
He's using
list.
control one.
Oh, you mean, how did I get this one?
Yeah.
All the unimplemented methods.
Oh,
Control
these
one.
ones, how I get it is control one. Yeah. I mean, or you can go to, I'll show you. I'm sorry if I jump too fast. No, I'll show you. See here, it tells you that, hey, this is a class. When you implement an interface, you have to implement all the methods. Otherwise, you have to declare your class as abstract, right? We know that concept, right? Uma? So just here, go there, and then say add unimplemented methods. Or control one will give you the same, this one. Go over there and control one, add unimplemented methods. You just say that, it will give you automatically just the basic structure. You have to come and implement your code.
Yeah.
It's Eclipse is doing this fanciness, that's all.
Yeah. Okay.
So my point is, these three methods we have not implemented. We are giving a dummy implementation, nothing, right? We will come back and fill them. Because I'm not concerned about these three, because I want to take one at a time, right, Uma?
Yeah, okay.
So I attack this first method. Did I go too fast here, or I can go slow?
No, I was wondering from where we got that get all customers, it was auto-generated. Okay.
Oh, this one? This is your class implements this interface, Uma. Right? See here.
Okay, yeah, got it.
So
Okay.
we are taking all methods.
When you implement an interface, does it force you to
Yeah.
implement every method in an interface? It forced me. Agree? And then I
Yeah,
provide my implementation.
yeah, got it. Yeah,
Got it, right?
yeah, got it. Thanks.
And
No, if
and
not, I
Venkat,
can.
we are using interface. We are using interface because so that in future class changes, but interface will remain the same. We want to achieve polymorphism test. Right?
Tell me again.
We're using interface because that interface can be used by many other classes.
Exactly.
And
The reason is, this is one of the implementations, JDBC way of getting the data and implementing this customer DAO. But you can write customer DAO Hibernate impl. You can use Hibernate way of getting the data from database and populating. Get it?
okay.
Is there a confusion there, or?
Hibernate way means who will implement that Hibernate way? That
You will
that
implement
particular
it.
class should.
We will implement it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's several implementations, right? Just one of the implementations is JDBC. That's all.
Got it. Yeah, carry on. Yeah.
Okay. So now let's quickly test it. Customer DAO JDBC impl test, right? Impl demo or test. I'm just doing. Right. You can write a good unit test here. Customer DAO equal to new customer DAO JDB simple, right? DAO dot get all customers. Sweet. So what client does is he will call this method get all customers, and he gets nicely list of customers without worrying about where he got it from, how he got it from. No clue. We're giving nicely all the customers, and then he can use whatever he needs to do it. In my case, I just want to simply print it. Customer C, right? And then I want to print. Okay, I'll do all of the stuff like that. You got the point, right? Just go run it without having to know. You're going under the hood, you're going to the database, getting the details, you're getting the result set. Result set is translated into customer object and adding it to the bigger basket. But all of that is hidden. When you make that DAO or get all customers, magically you're getting the list of customers. As if you hard-coded, like how we have been doing it. Customer C1 equal to new customer C2 equal to new customer, and then say customers.add C1, customers.add C2. You know why we did that? Because of this one. That is why I asked you to do that homework. It helps now, right? See, we're getting all the details. Yuri, Venkata, Uma, Shovan, Leena, Yuri. Oh, where are we getting more? How many people do we have? Is there something wrong here? Let's print only the first. Oh, we are printing somewhere else. I'm sorry. We are printing there also in the DAO JDB simple also. We'll take out this guy now. Here. We'll not worry about it now, because client knows how to print it. Client will let client print it. Yuri, Venkata, Uma, Shovan, Leena. Make sense? You can print last name, you can print zip code, you can print all that stuff. I think I don't have to mention it. Guys, so we incorporated interface implementation. We used collections, right? Nicely wrapped with it. Oh, sorry. You can control, hold it with control, and then you just mouse over it, it will give you. If you want the declaration, it will take you to interface. You go to implementation, it will take you to implementation. See here, we have taken the empty bag, use the JDBC nicely, and then again, immutable object. See this concept also. We created an immutable object, but it doesn't matter whether if you are creating an immutable object, right? You do customer.set customer ID, set first name, set last name, set address, set city, set state, set zip code. You have to write 7 setters, 7 lines of code. I did it with 1 line of code. And moreover, I removed setters. So my object is immutable. Immutability is better, if possible. And then finally adding it to the basket. Every single time you go into this while loop, I'm creating a new object and adding it into the basket that is outside. So basket is nicely filled with all of these 5 customers. And I'm returning nicely to my client, which is your customer, this customer DOJDB simple demo. And then you're getting it. Now, I was actually hoping for, Shovan was not feeling well. So he had to leave, but I was hoping that he would be here today. The reason is he showed me one interface implementation thing the other day. I said I was not happy. I mean, this is not the way to do it. Rather there is a better way to do it is what I wanted to experience this one. So this is how you do it. Nicely your interface, mainly look at it, how clean interface is, how clean this one is. But under the hood, we are doing a lot of things. Result sets, connection, statement, prepared statement, closing the connection, etc. But your client has no clue about it. You are exposing a very, very high level API. With that, the power is that you can change the underhood implementation without your clients having to know anything about it. You're wrapping all of that nicely with a nice front end beautiful curtain so that you can change anything in the back end, because this guy only looks at it. I don't care where he gets it from, how he gets it from, how many translations he is doing it, but he gives me a nice object. Right? I know, I'm excited. Yeah, Venkatekrishna, awesome. Huh? Thank you. Yeah. Did you guys like it? We mixed a lot of concepts today. I wanted to make it a little more complicated by introducing exception handling too, if you guys can take it. But let's see. There is a point for DAO related to exception handling. Yeah, go ahead.
So in the select statements, whenever we are giving a select statement and we want to know how many rows are returned, I can just put a variable and then increment it in the while loop, correct? While rs.next. Is there any specific method for the result set? Because I tried fetch size and all, that is not giving me the rows returned. So what I implemented is just a variable and then incremented it within the while loop.
Right. That is the only way. The fetch size is actually different. Jyoti. How many records do you want to get each time from database? That is the fetch size. How many interactions do you want to make it to the database? So I don't think there is any way. No. You have to get it that way.
Okay. Thanks.
Unless. No. I'm just looking at it one more time, but I don't think so. At least I've.
Yeah, I tried several other methods also.
Yeah. No. Yes.
But that's the only thing I got.
For sure. Off the top of my head, I know for sure, but I wanted to look at API more deeply, but I don't think so. Fetch size, I know. Fetch size is actually, if I have 1 million customers, how many times do you want me to go
Yeah,
back and
correct.
forth, back and forth. That's what it is. Okay. Very exciting, right? Very exciting. So let's implement the remaining methods too, and then let's refactor it a little bit. I'll introduce refactoring too. So a lot of things come into play today, and maybe exception handling too. Then it's like a complete picture. So all of these concepts today, whatever we talk today, is going to be every single concept that we learned so far will be accumulated and written, right? But this is going to be the basis going forward. And I'll never come back and talk about the DAO or anything. We'll only use, we are going to write the clients for DAOs from here onwards, from today onwards, next class onwards. So all these people go to DAO, get the data, and then act on it, whatever that one is. So anyways, so that's about it. Now let's do create customer. It's very simple, right? So let's do it. We already have code, so it's just copy pasting. So I'll get it from prepared statement. Okay. So all of this code. Okay. Okay, now tell me, what do you want me to do here? Here, this guy, we hard-coded all of these details. This is very unfortunate. We hard-coded it. Tell me, one of you, or several of you, tell me, how do we do it? We need to create a customer. He's giving me in terms of an object. He doesn't know that under the hood we need these individual pieces. But can you tell me how we get it? Can you tell me? What is this one here? What is the first question mark? ID, right? He's passing the ID. He's passing the ID. So let's get it. Right? And then he's passing the first name. But in terms of an object, but it's there in the object, right? So get first name. Are you guys with me? Agree?
Yeah.
Last name. Make sense, guys? Right? That's all. It's very, very simple thing. Right? That's it. There's nothing much. There's nothing less, nothing more to it. If you want to demo it, sure, you can do it. Actually, perfect complicating the things is to write the unit test, and then it's like everything will come into picture. All the concepts. This is when, typically about the DAO time frame, people think, oh my God, so just need a day to really practice on the things. Yeah, I know. So this is how, if you want to create a new customer, right? Customer equal to new customer, I know. Okay, let's create a new customer here. How many objects do we have at this point? 5, right? 6. Actually, just while I'm at it, nobody will do it this way. The customer ID typically will not be passed in any project, customer ID will not be passed by the client. There is a database object called sequence. We typically use sequences here. But I talked in the previous one, not this time. If possible, I'll talk about it towards the end in the JDBC template or Hibernate time. JDBC template maybe time. We'll see. If not, watch that video. It's a very simple concept. Who shall we insert now? We have how many people? 5 people already. So 6th one. Let's insert Jyoti. Do we have Jyoti here? Okay. Since she just asked a question, Jyoti, whatever. Dallas, I think. I don't know. Or somewhere in Texas, I think. Zip code is 45123. Yeah, something like that, right? Now, see here, you created a customer object without knowing anything about the details. You created a customer object as if you're using for somewhere else. So if you want to persist this guy, persist meaning if you want to store this guy in the database, you just say DAO dot create. That's it. See how simple code client is writing without knowing anything. Just creating the customer and just giving it to him, and then he magically creates it. You want to go and now do it? In fact, you can use, now you can get the, I'm commenting this insert guy because we just created one. Now go run this guy again. See, Jyoti's back. Make sense? You can't run the same code one more time here because this is a primary key, so you cannot duplicate it, right? Okay. Now let's implement the next one. Let's implement the next method. Are we good so far? No confusion, guys? Any confusion? Can I go to update and delete? Okay. And we have the code for update anyway. So ready-made code, copy paste. Put this guy here nicely. We have update customer, but we're only updating his first name, last name, first name and last name. Shall we insert whatever he gives? Last name. First name, last name, city. We can update anything, right? State. Zip. Right? My readability fanciness. First name, last name, C equal to question mark. State equal to question mark. No, address equal to question mark. State equal to question mark. We need to put comma. Thank you. It would have blown away. We need to. City, state, and then zip equal to question mark, where customer ID equal to blah. That's it. Oh, but we are giving the real first name, all of this hard-coded stuff. Now what do we do? He's giving the customer object for us. That object has everything. The first guy is, so first question mark is first name, second question mark is customer dot last name, right? Third question mark, city, state, zip, and then the last one is going to be, sorry, dancing here. Third one, fourth one, fifth one, and now we need a sixth guy also, I believe. Yep, sixth guy is the last one, and then seventh one is our customer ID. Okay, first name, last name. What is the third question mark here? Address. Okay, good. You don't have to be in this order, by the way. You can go in whatever the order. All you are saying here is third question mark is whatever this value coming from customer.getCity. Sorry. Something happened. City. Get state. Get zip code. Oh, my bad. Third one is address, right? My bad. City. So everyone is paying attention nicely. City, state, zip code. And then seventh one is ID. What is it? Customer dot get ID. Fantastic. Make sense? That's it. I don't even need this, but I'll leave it at that. We can implement the delete also and go back and test it. Prepared statement, delete demo. This is pretty simple. Delete is very simple. Okay, just give me the customer ID and we are expecting 1 equal to, rather than hard coding this guy, first question mark is going to be customer ID, whatever you pass me here. That's it. Very simple. Okay. Now, let's go demo. We inserted a customer with 6 already, so I'm not putting this guy. So what I'll do now is, I'll take the 6 one, Jyoti's, but I'll change her, I'll change her address to 999 Plano Drive, from Dallas to Plano, Texas, then 98775. Right. And then we'll say DAO dot update customer and then customer, right? Let's check one at a time. Very good. Let's see what's happening here. Jyoti JL 999 Plano Drive, Plano, Texas 98765. Good. It worked. And now finally, I can comment this guy. Otherwise, one more time happens. There's no harm in that, I think, but let's check the delete customer ID. We will delete Jyoti. We did a lot of changes, and then let's look at it. Jyoti is gone. Make sense? How clean interface it is. How clean it is. Agree? There is so much mess, or there's so much crap in the implementation, but all of that implementation is hidden. There is so much ugliness in customer DAO JDBC impl. If you look at it, really implementation perspective, a lot of lines of code. Okay, a lot of lines of code, but it's that's what it is, right? Now, did you follow everything so far? Did you follow everything so far? Everybody? Very good. Now, yeah, you should do it. I agree with you, Uma. Yep, I agree with you. Can't agree more on that. Once you do at least 4 or 5 DAOs, then things will be That's when, these small pieces, everything you're pulling together, and then, this is when all these small, I think I always use it in my videos, every class, right? Lego pieces. So far we worked on small Lego pieces, right? Now, this is the first time we are plumbing them into something that's tangible. We're making it a little bigger piece, let me put it that way, from very tiny Lego pieces. So this is the first time we are doing it. Now, can you take a little more, or is it too much so far? I'll tell you what I'm thinking, what is left, okay, here. You look at it, there is a lot of ugliness here. The first point is there is a lot of ugliness here. Connection. See, everybody is getting the connection. Every method is hard coding it. Okay, every method is getting it. See, every method is getting all of this, right? Every method is getting it. That's ugliness, right? And this is only customer DAO. We are going to quickly write order DAO and hundreds of DAOs. In hundreds of DAOs, you'll have thousands of methods, and in each method going this one, all of a sudden, if you change your SID here, currently you have the SID of XC here, right? If you change your SID, what happens? You change all of your thousand methods, right? That's a bad idea. So that's one kind of ugliness here. And the next ugliness is, look at this finally block. Everybody is doing this probably 9 lines of code, or good 8-9 lines of code. Everybody is doing it. Every method is doing it. Every method is doing it. You're duplicating it. You're violating dry principle. There is a principle called dry. I'm not sure whether I mentioned it before or not. Do you know, any of you know what does dry stand for? There are some software engineering principles that I talk about once in a while. Do not repeat yourself. Excellent, Uma. Yes, dry stand for do not repeat yourself. Okay, that was first mentioned in Pragmatic Programmer book by those guys. Okay, so, but how can we improve it? I wanted to improve this one as a first step. Is there a way you can improve it? It is not only for this customer DAO. I'm talking the bigger picture. I'm talking about the bigger picture now. Meaning, I'm talking about the bigger picture now. There are a lot of DAOs now. We have customer DAO. We have customer DAO. We have order DAO. You have a book DAO. You have hundreds of DAOs, right? In all of them, you will have these few lines of code to close the connection, to close the result set, to close all of this one. So what can we do here? Is there something, any of the object-oriented principle that I can use it? Is there an object-oriented principle that I can use? That I'll put it in one place and everybody will magically get it? Inheritance. Beautiful. Yes. So, exactly. Inheritance. Very good, very good. So, because I'm talking about hundreds of DAOs here, there are a lot of DAOs, and everybody's concern is same. Going to the database, get it, right? Right? So, why can't we have all these guys extend from a common DAO, and put this couple of lines of code there, like a close resources or something, and then everybody will call this one in just one line of code. Right? Shall we do that? It's a very, very simple inheritance principle. What do you guys think? Shall we? Let's go ahead. So I will create a base DAO. I'll call it base DAO for lack of better names. And a lot of projects call base DAO, by the way. Not only me. And okay, I'll create a class called base DAO. Okay, here I will write. So what is the ugliness here we are talking about? One of the things is, see here, these lines of code, right? So we need to be able to close the result set. We need to be able to close the statement. We need to be able to close the connection. And you catch the exception and ignore it, right? Okay. So shall I call it close resources? I'll say nobody should use it other than my subclasses. Protected, void. See, I'm using protected. I don't want this code to be used by anyone else other than my subclasses. So protected void, close resources, right? Right. And what do I need to close it? Well, I need RS. RS is what? Result set, right? So I need result set because I want it to be closed, result set. And then I want statement also to be closed. And I want connection also to be closed. So I'm passing. You pass me those three and I will close for you is what we are saying. You pass me those three, I will close for you. How do I close it? Well, I'll just copy paste from one of them. Okay, that's it. Result set dot close, statement dot close, connection dot close. But result set may be null for insert, update, delete, right? In that case, result set does not come into picture, right? So for that matter, anything can be null. I mean, if somebody is passing now, so do a null check here, right? If rs not now, okay, do rs dot close. Okay, I'm just not putting the braces here. If you think it will confuse you, go ahead and put the braces like that. But go ahead. If statement is not now, because the only reason is we're trying to close it. If statement is null, null dot close will throw what exception, guys? If statement is null and statement dot close statement, this line of code will throw what exception? Null pointer exception. NPE, null pointer exception. Yes. Null dot any method will throw null pointer exception. Okay? We don't want to run into null pointer exceptions. Null pointer exceptions arise if programmer is bad. I mean, programmer is not handling null scenarios. But we are good developers, so we handle it. Gracefully we handle it. We're excellent programmers, excellent developers. So if connection is not null, so you can pass me null also. I'll do a safety check and I'll close this guy very nicely, fantastically, fabulously. Oh, right. If in a catch block, if there is nothing to be done, ignore it. Okay? Just write a small comment. Typically people do it. Now, agree? Now what do I have to do in my customer DAO JDB simple? I will pick Uma. Tell me, in my case, I have all of these DAOs. Now I created a base DAO. So in order to be able to call this method, what should I do now? I got my parent class now. What do I do here? What do I do here now? I want this functionality to be inherited. Yes. Tell me. extends
That
base DAO. Right? Oh, extends base DAO. Okay. Extends base DAO. This extent has to be first because you can do multiple implementations, right? That is why this has to be the last statement, because you can do hundreds of implementations. So you can only do one extent. So that's why they pushed this one first. Anyways, once you do the extents based DAO, now tell me, Uma again, in my finally block, I can safely delete all of this, right? And I can replace it with one line of code. What is that?
Call that method.
Exactly. This is available from my dad now, right? Close resources. And what do I have to pass? I will pass my result set. Result set is RS here. Following it, pass the statement and pass the connection also. Did you understand this one? Let's start with Uma, since you're already speaking. Did you get that?
Yes, yeah.
We are using inheritance concept because I'm a child and this is my dad. My dad has that method. My dad has put it. He's giving it to every single of his children. So I'm one of his child. So that method is readily available for me. It's free. I can go take it. It's coming from my dad, right? So we'll pass it. Agree, guys? Now I removed one messiness. So now one line of code now, right? All of this also, I'll replace it with one line of code. But there is no result set there, right? Only statement and connection are there because this is an insert statement. So what do I pass if I don't have result set here? But my method is expecting here. I need to pass something. What do I pass? My method is expecting result set and I don't have the result set. What do I pass? Anyone? Now. Excellent. I pass now. But if I don't handle here, if RS not equal to now, then rs.close would have thrown me a null pointer exception. Make sense? I'm assuming we're all on the same page. So again, here we don't have, we don't have result set again. So we're passing now statement connection, everything good. Null statement con. Fantastic. So we removed half of the ugliness, right? Somewhat. Code looks better now. Agree? Did we change the functionality here? One of you speak. Did we change the functionality by moving these few lines of code to my super class here and then, rather than writing 8 or 9 lines of code, we are writing just one line of code here. Did we change the functionality overall how customer works or how, we are deleting the customer? We did not. But what did we do there rather?
We used object-oriented.
Okay, so what did we do there? So we improved the design of the code, right? We improved the code for readability, for better maintainability, for all the good reasons, non-functional reasons. That is the word, okay? All the non-functional reasons. Something that developers only care about it. Your business is not changing. Meaning, yesterday you were, even with the 8 lines of code or 1 line of code, your business is always same. You're able to update few minutes back and you are able to update now. But we are improving the design of the code and that is called refactoring. So we just refactored code to improve our code. to improve the readability and maintainability of our code, especially in this case, maintainability of the code. So if something goes wrong, I don't have to go 100 places or 1,000 places. Just one place here, the connection. Disclosing the resources. I'm extracting it and making it more readable, more maintainable. So improving the design of the code without changing the functionality is called refactoring. That is what we just did. We refactored this code and improved it. Okay? So business user doesn't care about whether you wrote 10 lines or 1 line of code, but we care about it because we need to deal with this DAO every day, or these hundreds of DAOs every day. So that's why we do that. Okay, this is one thing. Can you tell me one more that we can refactor it? Can you, earlier one of you pointed out.
We can do constructor for the
This try manager that get
For
connection.
connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can do that. Okay. But before that, small baby step. Can I do something? This line of code, does it make sense? We are repeating everywhere. We are repeating everywhere. We are repeating everywhere. Right?
we are using constructor.
Probably initialize it in the.
See, constructor does not give me this, right? Constructor, rather I just hard code, rather than hard coding, customer will pass it, right?
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, this whole method call itself is duplicated, is what I'm saying. We can do the exact same thing, right? Confused? Protected? I will return connection this time, and I'll write a method called get connection. Okay? And I don't give you anything. In fact, this is a better version than your constructor. Look at it. I don't give you, even client doesn't have to give you all these details, right? So I will do this one. So connection con equal to driver manager dot get connection. How beautiful that one is. And I'll give you the connection. Right? I will give you the connection. I'll simply return it. I don't need to store it. Okay? And it is throwing a SQL exception. Do I want to handle it here? Any of you? Do I want to handle it? I will throw it so that everybody is calling it anyway. So I'll throw it. I'll throw it to my whoever is dealing with it, my children. Okay? So now base class has all of these details. See this? And only one location. What do you think now, antenna? We have it in one location. And now I'm going to replace all of this one with a single method called get connection. How about that?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yeah.
Now, if you have 10,000 DAOs and if you change from your XE to some other database SID, how many places are you changing?
Only one place at the base.
One place, which is your base DAO. But earlier, in your 10,000 DAOs, 100,000 methods, you're changing it in 100,000. Bad idea. So let's improve it. We are refactoring one more time to improve it. Did you all get this again? I'm getting it from my dad. Simple inheritance. I'm improving the design of the code, or I'm improving for good reasons. Readability, maintainability, all of it without changing the functionality. That is what is refactoring. Continuously think about it. Continuously refactor your code to make it good. It doesn't matter whether whether you're coding in Java, coding in database, coding in C#, coding in Ruby, whatever the programming language it is. If you want to be a really good developer, continuously make it better. Continuously refactor it, make it better. Okay, that is called refactoring. I I'm not using driver manager at all now. So I'll remove this import. How do I do that? There is a shortcut, Control Shift O. Your code works everything magically, but we improved it much better. Still, there is a lot of ugliness. We'll talk about that, that one later. Unfortunately, this SQL exception, we can't do anything about it at this point. But this is good. This is as good as it can be at this point. Right? Like that. And now, there is a small point that I wanted to talk about related to DAO for exception handling, but I need your feedback. Are you guys exhausted at this point? I mean, it's too much for a day, so we'll take a logical break. Or I can talk, but tell me what your state is. And not even one responding? Okay. Shall we do it in the next class? Yeah.
Yeah, next class.
Sure. Okay, let's do it. Most of you are voting for that, so let's do it. Okay, but this is what I want you to do now. This is why I gave you a lot of examples, lot of homeworks initially. See here? This is why we did a lot of examples in collections. Now, JDBC, create the complete data layer component to do basic CRUD operations. Create, read, update, delete, meaning whatever we did just now, right? Operations for the following objects. Laptop, car, television, cell phone, school. It's the same stuff. So what you do is create a table called laptop. First create a table. Okay, see here? This would typically mean designing and developing the following pieces. Create a database table called car. Create an object that holds car state and behavior, that is car.java. Create a DAO interface, car.dao.java. Provide a JDBC implementation class, so car.dao JDBC impl. We didn't talk about it, so don't do it yet. Create a runtime exception, DAO exception. This is good enough for now. Okay, and then write a JUnit test class to test it. I made it more complicated as well. So, can you do it? At least 2 of them by next class. So, or take 1. What I'm essentially saying is, I think you got it. Create a table called car. Create a table called car. And then create an object called car. And then DAO. And then implementation of whatever we did just now. Did you get it? Shall we do that? Only Notepad is behaving weird. So. Okay.
Can we check out your program today?
No. I'll do it right this second. Okay. It's checked in already. It's doing it. Now you can get it, the code, and the video will be uploaded 3 hours from now. I think it takes good 3 hours to encode it. Okay? That's it. Can you do one example tomorrow when you all meet? One. CRUD of car. Create the car, update the car, delete the car, and read the car. Get all the cars that you have. Can we do it? All the way from the database table to all of this. Shall we? Is it too much to expect? One object. That's all. Okay? Take care. That's all I have. Thank you, everybody.